what's going on? So in one of my videos that I posted, somebody, a lady love, asked the question, like pretty much what called me into doing tarot. And it's so funny because I've been meaning so many times, just putting it out. I've been meaning to talk about my story, my introduction to tarot, and kind of like reintroduce myself in a sense. And it was actually a homework assignment in a class that I was taking, but I just didn't do it. So the fact that she asked is like, okay, Kristen, do it. So literally, I love this story. I'm glad that I'm telling it today, because today is really not my day or whatever. Just going through the motions, you know. So today is not my favorite day. And I know me telling this story will get me in a higher vibration. So thank you. Shout out to Miss Melissa Renee. And I realized I was gonna do like a video response to her question, but this is gonna be like longer than the few minutes that TikTok give you to respond to a comment. So literally, I had my like awakening to okay, I've had multiple awakenings, guys. Just a bit about myself. I'm 39, and I've had what I know I've had maybe four different awakening periods. My most recent awakening period happened like maybe a year before COVID started, maybe a year, 2 years before COVID started. And when it happened, I felt this like push and pull to do something, but I didn't know what exactly. I had this push and pull to like get more creative, and to just utilize myself, but I had no idea like what I was supposed to be doing. And so I got connected to a friend, and she and mind you, I had been going through like a breakup, and a red bird just passed. I had been going through like a breakup, and many different things just was going on, you know what I mean? So in a sense, my like comfort was like tarot. I start like looking at readings, they just start popping up in my notifications, because before readings I would just listen to a bunch of different stuff, from like comedic stuff to just different videos of, you know, spiritual based things or whatever. But then like actual tarot readings started to pop up, and I've always been a believer in like psychics and stuff like that, and tarot or whatever. But I grew up thinking that stuff was like you know, demonic, or, you know, not of God and everything. But I felt like in my hearts of hearts that's not true, because since a child I've had spiritual gifts, and I felt things, and just the way I was feeling and thinking, you know, I knew that I would be categorized as like evil, you know what I mean? But this was happening since a child, like the unexplainable. And so I started listening, you know, despite all of the fears and stuff that came about or whatever. I like pushed that to the side, and then I started looking at tarot, and then I started looking at like, there was a bunch of like just a bunch of like love readings and stuff like that. So I was like, let's see if they, you know what I mean, is know what's going on, and maybe I can get some answers or whatever, when it comes to tarot for my, relationship, or, relationship that I was actually out of at the time, but just get more clarification as to what was going on. And y'all, that shit was on point. It was on point, on point, on point. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Time went on, started listening to other type of readings and stuff like that. Then got connected to a friend or whatever that had a deck of cards, and she used to pull cards for me. And so, mind you, like prior to this, I had got connected to a video of a woman talking. She was a spiritualist, and she was like older, just, like a vet in this or whatever. And she was just saying, just going over different signs that like you are being called to do tarot. You're being called to be a diviner and use divination. And one of the things that stood out to me was that she said that, out of the blue, you will be gifted a tarot card reading. And not necessarily out of the blue, it could be for birthday, whatever, but you will be gifted a tarot card deck, like your first tarot card deck. And I was like, and it was just something about that story. Like it was something about that story. And so literally the friend that gave me my first deck, she just was like, hey, like, it's something in me, my spirit team or whatever, your spirit team, or spirit team is, saying that this deck is yours, like to give you this deck. So she gave me her original deck, and it felt so aligned. But I was like, I don't want to do tarot though. And she was like, I don't know, like something is telling me like this is like for you or whatever. And I was like, nah. So I just started using the cards just for myself, just to get acquainted with it. I started looking up different information, looking at other videos, and they, tell you to kind of get acquainted with the deck, get it familiar with your energy and everything. 744. And then I did that, and I utilized the deck. I started giving little mini readings, and those were like on point or whatever. And then I remember, kid you not, and by this time we was like full into COVID mode, shut lockdown and everything, full into COVID mode. And so, dang, I just see a hawk. I kid you not, I just see a fucking hawk. Is that what that is? But anyway, that's so crazy as I get ready to speak about the natives. And someone's just like, look up. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about. And so, I started like well into COVID. I had this like dream. It was a mixture of a dream, but it was a mix of what you call it? I can't even think of it. Not teleport, but anyway, I had this dream, this like realistic dream, like literally this realistic dream, and it was about the natives. And so natives start to be like really, really heavy around me. And they were just, they were just heavily around me. And so moving forward, the same friend that gave me the other deck, she came to me again and was like, girlfriend, I think the natives, or I think your spirit team wants you to have this deck. And she was like, here, I'm giving it to you. She's just obeying her promptings to give me this deck. And I'm like, why? Like, what is happening? Like, I don't want to do tarot. And mind you, I'm saying I don't want to do tarot or whatever. And I don't want to, be this messenger, simply because I felt like I was being pulled to do these messages on social media. And I was like, y'all about to And so I'm like, y'all about to have me on social media looking crazy in front of all these people. Like, literally, like, I don't want to do that. And mind you, some more background about me in just a little bit. Can tap into my natal chart just a little bit. So I'm predominantly like like not Leo, but fire sign in my natal chart. Like, I have a bunch of fire sign in my natal chart, and the fire signs show up as wands in the tarot deck, and the wands usually symbolize messages, messenger, message bringer, just news, and things like that. And so when I saw that and I started connecting certain dots together, and then, not to mention, Leo rising, Leo moon, Leo rising, and so I was like being pushed to address and release some of my Leo energy during this time. So I'm like, oh my goodness, especially like the energy of courage, simply because my Cryon placement is in Gemini, and Gemini is like the wounded healer, and I needed to utilize my fire energy to push and start healing that Cryon energy, that suppressed energy, that suppressed communicator, because Gemini is a communicator. So I was suppressing that simply because I was afraid of what my peers think. My Gemini Cryon is centered in the 11th house, and the 11th house has to do with like your peers, and sometimes like your family and your relationships. And I grew up kind of thinking like my voice didn't matter around my peers, because I used to get laughed at, I used to get teased. I grew up in first and second grade with a mild speech impediment. So just my overall communication when it comes to people, and thinking that I'm crazy, or thinking that I'm weird, or thinking that my voice don't matter, or what I'm saying don't matter, was huge to me. So I was like, hell no, I was running from that shit. You know what I mean? But Spirit was like, nope, you got a message. We've been giving you message for years now. You've been a dreamer for years now. It's time to start popping your shit. You know what I mean? You've been doing shadow work before I knew what shadow work was. You about to pop your shit, and it's gonna be specific. You're not gonna mix in and blend in with the tarot community that's out there now. We're gonna guide you. And I'm like, okay. Still didn't believe it until this final like message just slapped me in the face. And with this final message, and with this final like synchronicity, because once again, Spirit works in three. When there's three or more, then Spirit is talking to you. That Source is talking to you. That Christ consciousness is in the midst. And so and along with that, I would get my numbers. And one of my awakenings, I would see 1111, and then 222, and then the one that was tied to this particular soul mission, and my overall soul mission was 47, and the different sequences of 4s and 7s. So I would get, first it started just 47, then it was 447, then it was 74 or 747, and then 474. Like, you name it, I saw it. Or sometimes it would be 347, 547, 947. When 947 is the last three of my Social Security, and I've been living with 47 attached to me for years. You know what I mean? Since birth. So literally, I see it up until this day, especially before I'm prompted to give like 447. I kid you not. I just seen it. And so before I was before I'm prompted to do these crow call messages, or these heavier messages, I would start seeing 47. So that signals me and lets me know, or whatever. And even with my eyes, it lets me know that there is a message coming in, and to kind of pay attention, to use my clairsentient and my audience to, just pay attention and use that third eye to like see my different spiritual signs or whatever. And so during this time or whatever, during COVID, before my first literally live reading on Facebook, I was so nervous. Like shaky nervous, tears nervous, because I knew Spirit was like, start speaking. I felt it. I started hearing it. It was undeniable. Like I would be up at night, like literally waking up at 3:33 in the morning, just crazy shit, y'all, crazy shit. And so, my mom during this time, she started cleaning out the basement, and a deck of cards, like a deck of playing cards, was literally in the package, like still sealed up in the package, and it was standing out to me, like just looking at me, like, like how you see something and it seemed like it got a glow, and it's like, that's for you. Like it was speaking to me, this deck. And it was like with the pile of stuff that was my stepfather's or whatever, and a bunch of little things that was his was just standing out to me to take for myself. And so I asked my mom, like, hey, what you gonna do with this? And she was like, I'm gonna just get rid of it. And I was like, no, can I have it? And she was like, oh yeah, just take whatever you want to take or whatever. And so I'm looking at this deck, and like I'm thinking like, okay, and I got the deck right here. First I'm thinking like, okay, maybe Spirit want me to take it slow and start off learning cartomancy, because the original tarot deck was used with playing cards versus like the actual tarot cards. They use playing cards as divination. And so I was like, maybe, that's just a sign to use cartomancy. And I got that, like, okay, yeah, but then it was something more. And so I'm like, okay, maybe Spirit want me to use this in my card reading. And mind you, I was prepping myself. I was like emotionally and mentally prepping myself, because I knew Spirit wanted me to give a reading within the next couple of days. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, this deck is calling to me. And so someone was like, go ahead and open the deck, Kristen, and everything. And so, y'all, mind you, my stepfather growing up, my stepfather was older. My mom had married an older man. So he died at, I'm not going to say this because y'all might be like, you lying. But now that I think about it, I think my stepfather died at age 74. But I don't know. So I'm not, because I know y'all like, you lying now at this point, Kristen. But I think he was either between the age of 73 to 75. I'm not for sure. So, and I'm going to ask my mother. Because I can't remember. And I can't think of his birth year right now. And so, well, my stepfather, we called him Pop. Everybody called him Pop. He had 13 children. Everybody called him Pop. All his children and all the kids and everything, like, called him Pop. My friends called him Pop. Literally everybody called him Pop. And so, y'all, I opened this deck. Literally, read this. Look at this. It says, Dad's lucky deal. Dad's now. He's my stepfather. Dad's lucky deal. It says, there once was a father who had a house full of aces. He was the only man in the household. I don't have any brothers. Like, it's all women. He was just in a house with my mom and my 3 sisters. I mean, I ain't gonna say my 3 sisters. It was 3 of us. I'm the middle child. But yeah, the video cut off. So yeah, it was 3 of us. It says, I'm gonna read it again. There once was a father who had a house full of aces, not bad. He dealt from the top. I call him my pop. Here's wishing you good luck, Dad. Here's wishing you good luck. Now, mind you, like I said, I was getting ready to do my first ever reading. This was my stepfather giving me a gift of cards to do my first reading. I don't know if y'all can see this man in the distance. He got on a blue hat. I don't know if y'all seen him. I hope y'all saw him. And I'm not going to shed a tear. I got emotional, but I'm not going to shed a tear. He had on a blue hat, this man. My spirit team show up in blue. My father shows up in blue. My stepfather is a Libra. And he's an air sign. And they show up in blue for me. But anyway, yeah. My stepfather gifted me my 3rd deck. Just to kind of, tell me that this calling and this path was yours. And to not doubt myself and to not be in fear. Because I was so scared of what people thought of me. And mind you, I was pulled to do a reading, to do my first reading on Facebook. And on Facebook you have all like the people that you kind of went to school with and family and stuff. And these are people that like laughed at me. Like literally people laughed at me. I remember, I will never forget, people laughed at me when we had this like it wasn't a college tour, but a college came to our school or whatever. And I ain't gonna tell you, I don't want to get that deep into it, but like they laughed at me. I got in my senior year of high school, I got into this fight, got my ass whooped, literally so embarrassed. People laughed at me. So mind you, like I'm being prompted to go up here and do this spiritual message where a lot of people aren't as spiritual as me. You know what I mean? So I thought I was crazy. I thought I was going crazy. Like you don't realize, I thought I was gonna be like literally like Carrie the movie. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. Like literally, me and my friend that gave me like the first 2 decks would like feel that in our energy, and we would hear it like literally. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. Literally, y'all. And that's my story. And my readings, especially more so, I ain't gonna say all my readings, but more so my crow call messages are very specific based off my experience and nothing that I've read. And they wanted me to do that for a reason, because people live so much in the books and speak so much about book life, not realizing that book is based off of other people's experience. So spirit kind of showed me, before you dive deep and speak on stuff that you've read, back up and speak on things that you've lived, which is going into like my switching the narrative readings, meaning, coming from a sexualized way of thinking or lifestyle, are you know, coming from, just, yeah, anyway. But yes, if any of y'all are just interested, if any of y'all are ever interested in any of my readings, especially my original readings, and just seeing how I channel Christ consciousness, I've channeled the energy of the energy, I call these energies, because some people don't believe these biblical characters even exist, but I believe that they're energies. I believe Yeshua is Christ consciousness energy. I believe the energy of Matthew taps into the root chakra and the sacral chakra, simply because he's calling out people and asking people to switch their narrative from their toxic ways of living, like their vices and their over sexualized ways of living. And it can go on, and I can go deeper, connecting the biblical characters to the chakras and stuff, but I'm getting overwhelmed. And yeah, I'm gonna just end it here and go eat my lunch. I love y'all. But once again, I'm sorry. If you want to go look at my readings, tap into my YouTube channel, Yafa Yanes, the Soul's Medium, and I'm a medium as well. I give medium readings, shadow work readings. I give what I call love naturally readings, because they're not just all romantic. I'm not going to sugarcoat the reading. If you come to me for a reading, but your ancestors come through and say, hey, don't give her no love reading, give her an ancestor reading, tell her or him that they need to work on their healing before they consider love, I will tell you that. So my love readings, and I was warned not to give these same type of love readings that you see on YouTube or on TikTok or any of the social medias. I was warned and guided specifically the type of readings that I should be giving. Even the zodiac readings, they I can do them, but not it's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same. Yeah, that's it, y'all. I love y'all. And once again, thank you, Miss Melissa Renee, for asking this, because you have no idea, just simply you being prompted to ask me that question, you don't know how that shifted my energy for today. I love all y'all naturally. And once again, I always say, shout out to Mr. Tracy Cherry. Shout out to him. I always say this in my readings: your belief in me and my gift, or your belief in, or lack of belief in me or my gift, and lack of belief in tarot or spirituality is not required. It's not required. My messages that I bring forth in my calling are not debatable. These messages are for somebody, and it's needed in these times. I give thanks. Love y'all. And real quick, I know I ended my video the first time, but I just wanted to come back to kind of tell people, especially if you feel like you are being pushed into a spiritual life, and to be aware of your spiritual life, just for not for a calling or for a purpose, but honestly for your healing. I don't realize that's what it's for. A lot of people think oh, I just have this spiritual gift because I'm supposed to be leading people, or I'm supposed to be in this egoic type energy, and I'm supposed to be supreme or divine and the chosen one. Y'all don't realize it's for your healing. It's for your healing. But just tap into those different signs that you see on repeat. Those are called synchronicities. And they're just unexplainable. Tap into those, address those, sit with them, meditate with them, pray on them, and pray for your protection while you're going through the transition. That is number one. If anybody is telling you otherwise, if anybody is telling you to just, oh, you're into spirituality, start doing spells, start just randomly picking up divinations and doing whatever you want with it, they're telling you the wrong thing. They're leading you down a dark path, either a path that they know that that's not right, or a path that they're unaware of, not realizing that that's dangerous. That's dangerous. It's dangerous, y'all. So pay attention to your signs before connecting with deities and things like that. Connect with source truth, connect with Christ consciousness, connect with, because source truth, the balance of source truth will connect you to your healing. The balance of Christ consciousness will create a soft space that will lead you to your healing and lead you to a life of gratitude. And then once you have that, you be led to your bloodline ancestors. Literally, your bloodline ancestors. And then if you don't know your bloodline ancestors, connect with ancestors that you know that got your back, that you know like 10 toes down got your back through it all. Like connect to them. And then from there start doing research, but most importantly start asking for the permission to tap into other deities and see if that is in your bloodline. Connect with your bloodline and see, hey, is this deity good for us? Is this deity, where I need to, not because it's shiny and it look good and it sound good and you want to get revenge on an ex or something like that. Don't play yourself like that. Don't play yourself. Don't play your bloodline, and don't play those true deities out there, because you playing them. You really playing them. You throwing salt on the Orishas when you playing them like that. You throwing salt on the Kemetic gods when you playing them like that. Don't play them like that. Don't do that. But I'm gonna go because I gotta clock back in and get to this job. And me with the job that I got right now, that's a whole spiritual story in and of itself. Literally. It's crazy. My job story is a whole story that I will have to tell. Like, it's crazy. Spirit don't make no mistakes. Some of y'all that think y'all was supposed to quit y'all job, yeah, for the time being, but some of y'all was supposed to be called back to y'all job for y'all sole purpose, and you don't even realize it. I kid you not. But that's another story. Literally, this time, take care of y'all. Once again, if you're ever interested in a reading, yes, I'm trying to push this, but I'm not forcing you. But if you're ever interested in any of my previous readings, YouTube, Yafa Yanes, the Soul's Medium. Yes. Talk to y'all later.